For those of you this is recording for, good evening. Hope you're well and everything's feeling fine. I'm just going to bring it fairly further up at the moment. So what I wanted to do is actually start standing up, if that's okay. We'll come down, and I've got a few bits and pieces to do down there, but I wanted to have a start with a stretch this way. Obviously I didn't know exactly who was going to be on this evening, but I wanted to go a tiny bit harder today, especially in certain areas with everyone. I'm getting the same, not complaints, that's probably the wrong word, not from my clients, thank God, but from generally people are just sort of going, oh, this hurts. There's a lot of back issues at this precise second. So I really want to do a sort of big stretch out there. But I wanted to try a couple of things that were a tiny bit more challenging without going along the Pilates route. So first of all, if we could just get a little bit of width going on your legs, and then we're going to do a little bit of work down there, and so you can actually put your hands flat on the floor. You should be able to if your legs are wider. So first of all, let's take a deep breath in, and I can tell within about 5 minutes I'm going to get too hot. Breathe in and bring it down. And then we're going to roll our hands down our legs. So you're going to come out, roll it down. If you are able to touch your toes, that would be amazing. Just drop your head. So keep it there. And then we're going to lift it up all the way back up again. We will come back down. Roll it up nice and slowly. Curl your back up. Deep breath in, arms up. And down. Hopefully, Zoe, you've got enough room, darling. Crashing into the desk, all the way down. Touching your toes, head down, just drop your head, feel that right down the back of your legs. Let slightly, when you've got your legs straddled, it slightly comes round to the inside as well. Then we're going to come back up. Just nice and slowly, there's no hurry. All the way up, all the way up. Deep breath in. And let's do that one more time. Oh, I have... My goodness, Steve's coming in. Sorry, guys. Hang on, sorry. Steve, sweetie, we've already started. So if you just want to crack on, we're going to legs fairly wide, and then we're just rolling our way up and down. Okay, so just join in as soon as you're ready. So dropping our head, we'll just do one more all the way down. Hands all the way down the front of your legs. And then we drop to our toes, head down. Just be aware of your balance. Don't close your eyes. And then nice and slowly rolling it back up. Good. Okay, I want you to turn towards one wall, which is likely, and then your back foot will turn and your front foot should be facing the wall, okay? And then we're going to hinge forwards, and you're sliding your hands down front now. So we're just going slightly to the side. Now this will get the front leg, but the back leg has got to stabilize you. So if you can't go all the way down, don't worry. Just drop your head, but just be aware, keep your eyes open. You'll just destabilize yourself otherwise. This is a part pyramid, not the easiest one. Come back to center, and then we're going to turn the other way. So foot facing forwards, your front foot, back foot is at an angle, and we're not going to headbutt my coffee table. That's a bit stupid. Come all the way down. That's not on the list of things I want to do today. Down to your toes if you can. Drop your head. Just be aware of your balance. And then bring it back up. So you should feel that right down the back of that front leg quite strongly. Roll it, curl it, curl it, curl it back up. So your shoulders are nice and straight. And then you're coming back again. And then we're going to twist one more time. So back foot at an angle. Both legs straight. Turn towards the front leg. And you're sliding it down. Slide it down. If you can, meet your foot. Drop your head. Hold it here. Feel that big old stretch down the back of your leg and curl it back up. Try and keep those legs straight but not completely locked. Back to the center once you're up the top, and one more to the other side. So remember, straight legs on this one. Curl it down, front of your leg, all the way down. Control, control, control. Keep your eyes open. Drop your head. Oh, that is strong, that one. Oh, and back up. Curl it up to the top and back to the center. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to fold down and do a little bit of work down the bottom. I'm just going to step back so you can see me properly. So curl it down, hands in front this time. That's it. All the way down. And we're going to drop our hands to the floor and drop your head. So depending on how wide you are at the moment, just try and go fairly wide so you've actually got the ability to put your hands on the floor comfortably. Okay, now first of all, we're going to bring your hands, just walk them as far forward until you're on your fingertips as you can go. And what this should do is straighten your back slightly. So you should feel, if you drop your head down, you should feel that your back feels relatively straight, and the stretch is right down here. It's quite strong, this one. Just up onto your fingertips and straighten that back. Push backwards slightly. Shoulders down, drop your head. Good, and then just creep your hands back. And then we're going to creep them through. This is actually quite a lot harder if you go the other way. So creep them behind you. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. So you're behind. Drop your head and try and reach as far as you can behind you. Again, this is a tiny bit stronger. Good. Come back to the center and just rest your hands on the floor. If you want to just bend your knees and just give yourself a little jig, that's fine. Straighten your legs again, and then we're going to do the same again. So we're coming forwards as far as you can and drop your head down. And just feel that sort of really straightening your back. Relax those shoulders. And just work your way back to the center again. Good, and then all the way behind you. Stretch, 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 stretch. Drop your head. Good, and then back to the center. Again, just relax in the center. Okay, now, once you're in the center, I want you to see if you can bend your knees and straighten them. Now, start off nice and gently with this, because actually this can be very, very strong if you come really low. Where you'll find this stretch is right by your hips and your hip flexors. So it should feel nice, but actually it is quite strong. It's right in here, if you can feel that. And then back up, just nice and slowly. Don't jump it. Just really slowly. Just bend your knees, lift slightly your head, sit back, and then back again. It's not exactly the most elegant one, I've got to say. But who cares about that? And back up. Let's do a couple more. So just slowly bend those knees. Feel that stretch right in your hips and back up. And that's in the back of your legs. And then one more. Feel it coming around your hips. Nice and low. And then back up. Lovely. Okay. If you are particularly wide at the moment, I've just walked one foot in slightly. So you need to be wide, but not so wide that you're practically in splits. Now this next one is actually quite a strong stretch, but it's actually everywhere. It's not just in the back of your legs. What we're going to do is walk over to one side, and then you're going to lift your arm. Okay? So it's the arm that's nearest to your leg. Okay? And then we're going to swap. So you're going to windmill over. So it's the opposite hand to toe, and the other arm's right up in the air. Hopefully that makes sense. So over, I'm going to do it this way as well so you can see what I'm doing. over, and over. Now what this does, yes, the back of your legs are getting stretched, but your shoulders are, and your back. It's quite a strong one. And if you do this much more dynamically, it's actually quite cardio related. It's actually quite exhausting. So just nice and slowly, we're not going to do this quickly, nice and slowly, and then lift and stretch. Really feel once you're at your toe that you've got a good stretch going on there. Come round and stretch, and come round and stretch. Let's do one more each side at your own pace. And stretch. Okay, bring yourself back to center, and then we're going to push and roll yourself up. Come all the way up to standing. Just watch your back on that. Just curl it up. It might be like, oh God. Okay, if you are fairly wide, just jump your legs together, or obviously you can walk them together. Just give them a real little jig. Okay, right, so back of your legs should be really quite warm now. And I actually wanted to do some balance now before we start coming down onto the floor, because we're up and feeling a bit stretched now. I want to see if we could do some kind of just gentle balance. I was doing something earlier with a client that was it was quite challenging, but actually really quite nice. So we're going to do, I will show you the move and then I'll break it down and we'll do it. So you're on one leg, and I really want you to concentrate first on that. Then you're going to bring that leg out, but keep your weight to this side. Okay, I will go through this again. And then you're going to bring it back again. Now, I know that looks like, oh, for goodness sake, that's not that difficult. Actually, it is. It's quite a bit more difficult than you think to try and shift your weight correctly. So let's start. I'm going to take a step back so you can see me more fully. Let's start with the balance first. Okay, so weight squarely on one foot. It doesn't matter which one, we're doing both sides. Hands on your hips. Pick a point that's not the screen, and then just lift your foot off. That's it. Now, if your mind is all over the place at the moment, this isn't going to be the easiest. So just try and still your mind, and that will stop you from wobbling about. Right, from what I can see on the screen, that is a good effort. Now, this leg, the one that's up, is going to come out, but your weight is going to stay where it is. So you're coming out. Okay, so you're in a sort of little side lunge. Now, where you should feel that stretch is right on the inside of the leg that's out. Okay, keep your foot relatively forwards. Okay, so I don't want it splaying out here. Reason being is because you're just about to put your weight back on it again. So if you want to use a little bit of momentum with your arms, by all means. If not, keep them in front of you, and then you're going to push back. Not that easy, badly demoed. Push back to where you were. Remember, hands here, hands there, hands anywhere, just to try and balance yourself. Personally, I find it easier in front of me. So bring it out. Feel that stretch, sort of stretch into that, feel that really nice stretch. And then you're going to bring it back in. That's better. Okay, when you're bringing it back in, pick your point again. Don't look at me, look down at the point. Bring it out. Feel that stretch. That's it, hold it there. This muscle will have to do something, or this set of muscles will have to do something, but I'm more interested in the stretch and the balance. And lift it back in. Oh God, that wasn't as good. Dear, all over the place today. Okay, one more. So bring it out, balance, stretch, hold it there, and then bringing it up. Oh, well done. Excellent. Foot down when you're there, and just give yourself a little jig. Now, annoyingly, as usual, we've got two sides, so we're going to do it the other way. I'm just going to move over before I kick my coffee table again. So, first of all, still your mind. Please do this bit first, or otherwise you'll be all over the place. So, plant your foot, lift your foot, hands where you want them to be. So here, there, here. Hold it first. Keep that balance, still your mind. Right, it does feel a little bit different on one side to the other. So this leg coming out. So let's bring that out. That's it. Very, very good. Just sink into that stretch a bit. Sink it down without your knee hurting. If your knee's starting to take that, sit back slightly. It takes it away from your knee. So if you're like that, do that. And then you're coming back up again. Oh, God, that wasn't good. That's it. Still your mind again. Clearly, obviously, a lot on my mind. And out again. So bring this one out. That's it. That's it. Feel that nice stretch. Hold it there. And bring it in. That was better. Good. Hold it there. Feel like a flamingo. Let's do that again. So leg out. That's it. Hold it. Stretch. And back in again. Just watch your, whoa, I shouldn't talk and do that. Watch your shoulders because they might start doing this. Okay, and one more, bringing your leg out. That's it. Hold that stretch. And off we go. Up, hold. Well done. Very, very good. Okay, bringing that foot down and give yourself a little dig. Excellent. Really, really good. Right, before we add to that, I'm going to take this off because I'm starting to boil already. We are going to add to that by twisting and lifting. Okay, so the move before I'll show you slightly quicker is out. Then we're going to shift to your twisting as you were doing before with your legs straight, but this is now bent. And then the tricky bit is lifting. Okay, there's your balance. But I want you to ensure that your hips aren't twisting. So your hips are down and you're lifting. Okay, you've got that little arabesque. You should feel a little bit in your back and then you're just bringing it down again. Okay, so I'll do that. Well, let's do that together. So start with your balance. Control your mind. That's it. Then we're going to come out. That's it. Hold it there. Excellent. Twisting. Now the twist is the obvious one rather than the other way because this is much easier to twist this way. Hold it there. Keep your chest up so we're not doing that. Keep your chest up. Tricky bit. Bring your weight forwards and up. Now you don't need to completely straighten the leg you're standing on. It doesn't need to be completely straight, but it will straighten. Feel having to balance. Feel your back having to do a bit of work. And then bring your leg down and relax. Wonderful. Everyone got that? Cool. Right, so let's come across to the other side. So plant your foot, leg up. Let's feel balanced first. Bringing that leg out. Again, it might feel a bit weird on one side in comparison. Then we're going to turn. So obviously you're turning the other way. So you should be facing another wall or a window. Hold it there, and then we're lifting. Come forwards, lift into that. That was not a good example, sorry. Hold it there. And bring your leg down. Lovely. Right, it's part Warrior 4, this one. I sort of combined a few things. Okay, let's try that one more time. So we're going to come back to the original. Yeah, so lifting your leg. Balance first. My balance is really bad today. Leg out. Just sit back into that move. Then we're twisting. Twisting the way you did first. Hold it there. Weight forwards, lift into your arabesque. Now, your arabesque can be there if you want it to be, if you're feeling completely mental. But just make sure that you're not getting that twist. Keep your hips facing the mat still, and then bring it up. Put your drop your foot down. Give yourself a little jig. Okay, excellent. Right, one more. The other side. So lifting. Bring your leg out. That's it. Come into that position. Excellent. We're twisting the other way now. Hold it there, chest up. And then leaning forward, put your weight onto the front foot and into arabesque. Again, if you really, really, really want to test yourself, you're down here. You can also do that if you want to. Arms out into swallow position. If not, you're just here and you're just there. And then bring your leg down and give yourself a little jig. Absolutely excellent. Well done, everyone. Woo, good levels of balance. Right. Let's have a little look at those backs then, because I'm going to have to do some work. So let's come all the way up. And we're dropping one arm. And then we're going to lean. So just leaning over. And when you do lean over, I'm going to turn to the side slightly. It's very easy to start doing that. So I want you to really think, and as I sort of illustrate, you're in a toaster. The way to do that best is actually just squeeze your glutes slightly and push your hips forward. It kind of stops the lean, and bring yourself back up. And we're swapping arms. And the other arm is sliding down your leg. Remember, squeeze your glutes slightly, push your hips forwards, and stay upright. Good, excellent. Bring those arms down. And again, all the way up. Deep breath in. Bring one arm down. And we're leaning. So you may feel that you can lean a tiny inch further now. You just stretch. It should feel all the way up there. And bring it back. Cartwheeling it over. And slide down, squeeze those glutes, push your hips forward. Tummy nice and tight. And back up. Wonderful. Okay, so that plane, good. Let's have a look at this plane, okay? So we have had to do a teeny tiny bit of movement there, so let's see if we can get that a little bit further. There's an exercise I want to do on the floor, which will push that further again. So one arm over, one arm tucked behind the back. Keep your hips forward and twist. Just breathe in this one, not the easiest, but breathe in. Good, come back to the center. Excellent. Other way, arm over, tuck it in and twist. Good, and back to the center. Lovely. Right. I want to try and do that a teeny tiny bit more dynamically. So if you put your hands basically up to your chest, very, very slightly bend your knees. And this is a sort of, it's a really good way of clicking your back out, actually, I find. If you just come across and across, you need to do it a little bit faster. So across and turn, across and turn. Basically, you're getting your hands out of the way, but you do need to keep your hips forward, or otherwise you're not really doing anything. And the reason I say bend your knees is because your knees can click quite badly otherwise. It won't hurt, they just click. That's it. So a tiny bit more dynamic. And round and round. Let's do one more each side. Click and click. Good. Back to center. Wonderful. Just give your legs a little shake out. Okay. A little bit more balance before we come down. So onto one leg, weight onto one leg. And then we're going to lift that leg up. I'll come to the side. And then we're holding onto it if you can. And lifting. Okay, so your leg is relatively straight at the bottom. You've got a good grip of that knee. And again, concentrate on something that isn't the screen. And then we're going to do a little ankle roll. So little circles with your ankle. You'll feel that in your leg. Tendons moving around. Good. Hold it still. Pull it up a minute more if you can. And then we're going to slowly bring it down. Good. Okay, let's try the other side. I'll just do that so I can see you and you can see me to the side. Lift, hold onto your knee, and bring it as far towards you as you can. And then again, we're going to roll those ankles. Excellent. Good. One more little roll. And then stopping your foot and then bringing that knee in as much as you can. Quick squeeze and let go and bring it down. Very nice. Okay. Right, let's come down a little bit and I want to do a bit more back work. We're going to, if you can come to the, I'm just going to move this mat. If you can come to the end of your mat, apologies, I'm going to chop my own head off. I'm going to have to bring it down a bit more. And then we're going to, as usual, take a nice roll down as opposed to just come down to the floor. So arms all the way up. Hip width apart with your legs. Deep breath in. And bring your arms down, chin to chest. Roll it down. Nice and slowly. Just drop your hands, drop your head, drop your arms, relax your shoulders, relax your back, and feel that stretch down the back of your legs. Nice deep breath here. And just begin to feel the weight of your arms and your head. Just really think about them as being heavy, heavy. And what will happen is as your back relaxes more, you'll come down slightly, and it's only slightly. But give it a sec, and it just relaxes all the way down. Okay, just bending your knees very slightly. We're going to walk our hands forwards, and we're going to come into a downward dog position, but try and make it quite a wide one. Okay, so hands fairly far in front of you. Drop your head, push your heels to the ground. Now, because we're in a fairly wide downward dog, they're unlikely to actually get to the ground, but that's okay as long as you feel stretched. Deep breath and relax. We've had quite an active start. I want to try and get your heart rate back down again. Right. Now, I want you to come up onto your toes and then push forwards, and we're going to come into a plank. I'm not going to stay here for long. And then I want you to come back up again. Now, your shoulders are going to have to do a bit of work here. Push back really strongly into that stretch again. Bring your arms up onto your toes again. Head forwards, core down, squeeze those glutes. As soon as you're in that plank, you're going to come back up again. Just be aware of your shoulders having to do some work, and then push back down to that stretch. And you may again feel that it's just a tiny bit further. And one more, come up onto your toes, into a plank. And then you're going to drop one knee and drop the other knee. And relax. So just sit back onto your heels. If you're able to, sit back onto your heels for a second. Let go of the mat and then just come up. Good. Whilst we're here, as long as that's not cramping your toes and or giving you pins and needles, if it is, just bring your legs around to the front and just sit on your bum. But if not, we're just going to do a few rolls here. And again, as I always say, just make them worthwhile rolls, not just silly little ones. Really try and roll it around, a little mini massage, and the other way. Good. One more. Lovely. Okay, walking your hands forward. If you want to split your knees, it's absolutely fine, either or. And we're going to come down into a nice child's pose. So the stretch here, yes, it is your hip flexors, but it's really your shoulders. So I really want you to try and stretch towards the end of the mat before you put your head down. If you have had a particularly stressful day, let's face it, even if you've done not that much, there's still some level of stress somewhere, isn't there? Just try really hard to breathe it out in this position. If you're unsure about anything, just get into this position and breathe it out. Usually helps. Just do a couple more deep breaths. Good. Lift your head and just walk your arms back. Okay, so your forearms should be on the floor, hands flat on the floor. And then I want to see if we can come up and down. So you're going to stretch, bring your forehead to the ground, and then you're going to bring it back again. Now, what you should feel, this is only very, very gentle, but your hip flexors have got to do something. So they should squeeze slightly to lift yourself up. Don't bang your head, just literally very, very controlled and very lightly touch your forehead on the floor. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's literally leaning forwards, touch your forehead, and then lean it backwards and feel your hip flexors just stretching more. All the way down if you can, so glutes onto your heels, and then you're rocking forwards. Touch that forehead nice and gently, and then rock backwards and really squeeze that down. One more. Use your hands as a stabilizer. And then back. Lovely. Right. We're going to exaggerate that move very, very gently. So if you just come up slightly and then bring your knees in if you have them out. So stretch back out, and we're going to go into your child's pose. Then you're going to come forwards and you're rocking your hips forwards now. Now, I don't need you necessarily to come into a full cobra here. So if you're like, no, that is absolutely pinching my back, totally not the point. Okay, so come back into child's pose, touch your forehead and your nose, and then come forward. I just want you to put your hips forward. If you're like there, that's good for me, that's absolutely fine. If you want to sink further, I don't want your back to pinch. Okay, it does need to feel comfortable to do that and push your shoulders back. Please don't do it if it's going to pinch, because that isn't actually that pleasant. And this is supposed to be pleasant. So stretch back, feel those shoulders, really get a good stretch. And then come forwards, and this should be stretching your abs. That's it, let's do that again. So bring yourself up, push it back. Remember, hips don't need to touch the floor. Really nice stretch in those shoulders, and bring it forwards. Sink down as far as you can, okay? There, right. Whatever your position you're in now, I want you to bend your arms and roll yourself down. So we are on our tummies, and we should be flat on the floor. Hopefully you can see me, because I can't see me, I can see you. Actually, let me just, yes, I can see. Okay, hands in front of you. And then just to completely relax your back out, just little wriggles of your hips, which will wriggle your bum. Okay, and come to rest. So nice and gentle little back movement here. Because we've done a lot of the other planes for your back, the one that we haven't done is backwards. Okay, we've done forwards, we've done round, and we've done sideways. We haven't actually gone back yet. So if you can put your hands in front of you, and it is quite a gentle move, I want you to lift your head and just look forwards. Now your shoulders should be nowhere near your ears, so just drop them right, actively drop them and lift your head up. Now your back should have a curve in it, but it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be right up here. You need to be fairly low still. It needs to activate, but I don't want you to stretch it too far. And then we're coming back down again. Take a deep breath in. On the out breath, lift your head, push your shoulders back. Now where you should actually feel this is, ladies, your chest should pretty much be off the floor, but you should feel it on your ribs. So it's actually sort of, you can feel the floor on the top of your rib cage. That's sort of how far the bend should be, no further than that. And then back down. One more, breathe in and lift and sink your shoulders down. Good. Right. As always, we'll counterbalance that move by a rocking move. So if you want to just flip yourself over nice and gently, I'm going to completely move so I'm in a better position for you guys. But literally just come onto your backs. Okay. So we're on our backs. And then I want you to bring your knees in. I'm going to turn slightly. I want you to bring your knees in. So once we've done that position, I need you to do the other position. So I want you to hold onto your knees and then lift. You're in a little ball. Now once you're in that little ball, just watch your neck. And if it is starting to aggravate your neck, just put one hand behind your head. And then we're just doing a little ball. Tiny rocks. Now this isn't round, this is side to side. So where you should feel this is mid-back. Right in the middle. That's it. Come back to center. Relax your head down and just release your knees slightly. So now I want you to do the little rocks round to the side. So this should be a lot lower. So where you should feel this is right at the base of your back and your coccyx area. So smallish circles so your core's not having to activate too much. And then the other way. Just really such a nice little move, this one. And there's always a lot of back aggravation right at the lower back. It takes a lot of strain if your posture's not correct throughout the day. And one more little circle. Good. Lovely. Bring yourself back to center. Okay, right. A lot of backs of legs stretches today. I wanted to spend a tiny bit of time on a wall. Now, I know this is going to sound a little bit strange, but if, and I do mean if you can, and if you're able to turn me as well so I can roughly see what you're doing, I want you to try and find anything spare wall-wise. Zoe, not necessarily going to be the easiest for you, darling, but maybe you could come towards the door, I think, because what I'm going to do is put everyone on your back and elevate your legs up the wall. So hopefully that will be possible for everyone. I'm going to, Zoe, you're a genius. Well done, darling. So I'm just going to turn you to my patio. So not quite a wall, but that'll do. Okay, just do make sure that you're comfortable and your back's comfortable because we're going to be here for a good few minutes. So I want you to come right against the wall. Okay, so your bum, wriggle yourself so your bum is right against the wall. Your legs are up flat. Okay, feet, your heels should be against the wall and your feet should feel comfortable. And I mean, I say your bum against the wall just as far as it can because obviously you've got to maneuver yourself. Now, first things first, it's not actually that normal to sit like this. So just give yourself a second and just sort of wriggle around a bit and just make sure that your back feels really comfortable. When you lie flat on the floor and you haven't lied flat on the floor for a while, your back can, I don't really want to use the word spasm because that's far too dramatic, but it can just go, oh God, it's because you haven't actually lie flat all day. And Steve, especially, if you've been, you know, bending around up in lofts and cupboards and God knows what, your back can certainly not have done this all day. So just give yourself a second and just have a couple of deep breaths and give your back a minute to relax. Now, again, this is a really lovely position if you are stressed. It also helps with low blood pressure. If you're feeling a bit dizzy, this is the position they put you in, because it rushes all the blood from your legs up to where you need it. Right. Okay, so should be feeling a tad more relaxed now. If you just need to stay here for another few minutes, by all means, of course. I'd like you to try and bring, so legs and feet together, and then we're going to butterfly. So slide, bring your feet together and slide your feet down the wall. So your knees are coming out. So it'll get to the point where if they come out any further, your feet are gonna come apart. So get to the point where you are comfortable, but your feet are still together. Now this should be the similar position to when you're in a butterfly or diamond position when we're sat upright. Your back is forced straight and your hips are forced open. This is a really, really lovely one if you have got, not that this counts for all of the people online today, if you have got menstrual cramps and also for digestion, if you're feeling a little bit blocked. This is quite a good one. It just opens up the chakra, apparently. So if you can put your hands onto your knees, and then we're going to just ease, definitely not force, just ease your knees away from you and towards the wall. Now, if for some miracle your knees are already on the wall, then just try to relax in that position. Unlikely that anyone's knees are going to be straight to the wall, but now if you are right in here, that's absolutely fine. It's exactly the same move. We're just trying to open up those hips as much as possible. And also, if you have a groin strain and it's really sore right in here, this is an excellent one for that. Footballers, a lot. So just put that pressure, just continue to put that pressure onto your knees and try and relax your hips down. They will relax a bit further, and once they have relaxed a bit further, just sort of reset and then re-push. Will take a few seconds. Lovely. Just very, very gently release those knees. And hopefully you'll find that you have actually sunk a bit more. I'm definitely sunk a bit lower. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can split your feet. So what that means is it will just sink a little bit lower. And if you put the pressure instead of to the side of your knee, on the top of your knee now, so you can actually bring it to the side and down further. Just please, please be aware of the fact that you are stretching your inner thigh quite a lot here. Your adductor muscles are not that flexible as a rule, not yours, everyone's. And they need to be eased into this rather than forced. Just a little bit of pressure. Just bring them a little bit further down to the ground. Okay, and release. Wonderful. Now put your hands around the other side of your legs, and you're going to bring them really, really, really gently together. So feet are still down, and you're bringing your knees, and they should end up towards your chest. Good. Right. Now we're going to slowly creep those feet back up again, and then you should be back up, legs straight eventually. Just do it nice and gently, and back up. Lovely. Okay. Give your legs a little jig if they feel like they want to. Right, now let's try one side and the other side. So we're going to slide. Zoe, sweetheart, not sure how this is going to go for you, sweetie, but if you want to bend your leg, then that's fine if we just can't get it straight. But if there is enough room and you haven't got bits of furniture or radiators either side of you, we're going to take one leg at a time and slide it down the wall. Now, your hips will automatically want to lift your glutes. Try really hard for them not to. Try and keep at least part of that glute on the floor still. So this is the equivalent of when we get the bands out and all the Pilates hoops, and we're sort of stretching them out. So you should feel like your hips are getting quite a good stretch, and also your adductor muscles. Just make sure that you're not twisting too much. Just relax it down. Now again, it should relax a bit further if you just leave it out there for a few seconds. Very good. Now my advice would be bend your knee. So if you want to use a hand, bend your knee and then slide yourself back up. If you try and slide yourself back up using your adductor muscle entirely, it may just hurt a bit. And then bring it back up to meet the other one. And then we're going to come all the way down like a clock. Tick, 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 tick. Now, as usual, you may find that one leg goes a lot lower than the other one. Just make sure your bum cheek's not lifting too much. Try and keep it to the floor. Not that easy, it wants to. Just try and relax it down. Very good. This should be quite relaxing, but relatively strong. Hold it there. Good. Right, again, take your hand underneath your leg, bend your knee slightly, and then you're going to bring it back up again. Nice and slowly. And then we're straightening our leg. Excellent. Right, bend your knees and then put your feet flat on the floor. If you can, if it's not going to, cause damage to said wall, I want you to put some pressure from your feet to the wall and lift slightly. Now, what you'll find is that you'll find that right at the bottom of your back, and it will just almost like a bit of a glute bridge. Put your hands down to the side to stabilize yourself, and then you're going to lift. So lift your tailbone, lift your glutes off the floor. A little bit of pressure, and that should feel quite nice on your back. And then curl your way down. If you need to bring yourself out a little bit because it's too intense, just shimmy yourself out a tiny bit. That's absolutely fine. So again, a little bit of pressure onto the wall from your feet. Curl it up. You're very unlikely to be able to get up onto your shoulders. Don't worry too much about that. It's more just lifting that tailbone and lifting your glutes off. And then you're going to curl all the way back down. The vertebrae should go back onto the mat or your carpet, wherever you are. Relax it all the way back down. Okay, and again, let's try again. So a little bit of pressure all the way up. If you can get anywhere near your shoulders, please do. It's just nice and really lovely when you roll down on your back. A nice massage all the way down, all the way down. And release at the bottom. Right, let's try one more time. Glutes should definitely activate slightly, but I don't want to be going into Pilates territory too much. So lift it up, pressure on the wall. Hopefully you're not sliding down the wall. And slowly bring it down and relax at the bottom. Wonderful. Just bring your knees in, so obviously you're completely away from the wall now. And then we're going to those little rocks again. Absolutely excellent. Good stuff. That's a really nice way of using the wall. There's a number of ways you can use a wall. That's one of them. Okay, now the fun part is getting yourself away from the wall. My advice, just roll to the side Literally bring your knees down to the side, roll to the side, and curl your way back up. Otherwise you'll be shimmying around all over the place. Okay. Now, I said I wanted to do a similar move, which is that plane, but on the floor. So we're going to go into a mermaid position, which is your feet touching your knees like this. Now, depending on how flexible your knee is, which mine isn't that flexible, is depending on how comfortable you are bringing your foot out there. If this is not comfortable and you're right like this, and it's really, really uncomfortable, you need to prop your bum up with a pillow. So literally just cushion and prop it underneath there, and that will right you back up again. If it is really, really aggravating your knee, Steve in particular, this might be a bit uncomfortable for you, just bring your leg out. Okay, so you're like that. All right, if that is too uncomfortable to be in your mermaid position, that's what this looks like. So we're going to do something that I saw a physiotherapist do actually from a back movement, and it looked really, really nice, but it's an exaggeration of something that we already do. So we're going to turn in the way that feels a bit more obvious to turn. And then we're going to lean all the way over and bring your hands around. So that's the position. Now what you should feel is you do need to try and keep most things on the floor. Your bum cheek is going to have to lift slightly, but you've got quite a strong stretch all the way around your torso here. So try and look over your own shoulder again. And I found this when I did this earlier, it's really quite a nice stretch for your oblique muscles in particular. Okay, bring yourself back nice and slowly. Come back to that full mermaid position. Then when you do it the other way, nowhere near as far, okay? It will not go as far, but you're just turning. Like we would do in the Lord of the Fish movement. This is a variant on it, but I quite liked it. And bring yourself back to center. Okay, reset yourself. Again, if it was okay, now it's not, just bring that leg back if it's aggravating that knee, okay? So let's deep breath in and spin yourself around again. You can get quite a good twist going on here. I quite liked it. And then bring yourself back to center. And then we're spinning around and as far as you can go. If this knee is really starting to creep up, just be aware and push it back down again. Good, and bring yourself back to center. Right, beautifully and elegantly, we're going to lean backwards and swap legs, so around to the other side, okay? Again, one side may feel a tad more comfortable than the other, so just get yourself in that position. If you really have got quite a lean on, you're tucking the pillow under this side, okay? Just prop yourself up, making sure that you feel comfortable, okay? So let's turn the way that feels natural to turn first. So really get a lean on. And remember, you are unlikely to be able to go the same way exactly on each side. Oh, that is a good oblique stretch right there. Oh. And then bring yourself back to center. And then we're coming across. Nowhere near as far. You can just hold onto your leg, hold onto the floor, hold onto a knee. Whatever you think's best for you. And slowly back to center. Reset yourself if you need to. Again, Steve, bring that leg out if it's starting to aggravate. Okay, you can do exactly the same thing like that. Okay, and bringing it round. Really get that stretch. Oh. Suddenly realise, it's like this wasn't hurting. Now I'm like, oh my God, that is really stiff. And then bring yourself back to center. And then we're bringing it round. And as far as you can go in this position. And bring it back to center. Wonderful. Right, to get yourself out of this, lean back and just put your legs forwards. And just give them a little jig. Excellent. A little variant. I love a little variant. Right, just get your bum cheeks out of the way slightly and then just sit nice and flat on the floor. We're going to bring our arms up, back nice and flat, and you're going to flex your toes and hinge forward. So try and keep that back relatively straight. So we're actually not going to put our head down today. So I'll do this to the side. Try, I do mean try to keep your back relatively flat. And even if that means it's here, no problem. If you can't reach your toes, no problem. But just keep your head up and your shoulders back. Okay, release whatever you've got, arms up by your ears again. And release down. Let's try that again. So all the way up. Deep breath, hinge forwards. Take hold of what you are able to. Keep that back straight, head up. Good. And release all the way up and back down. Very good. Right, give your legs a little stretch. Okay, so we're going to come nice and slowly all the way back up. So onto all fours. Let's take our time. So nice little cat and cow stretch whilst we're here. Just feel equal on all fours. And we're going to come all the way up. Nice little bridge. Belly button all the way up to spine. Bring it through and relax. Up through to center, all the way up. Through to center and drop into your cow. Very good. Okay, back up to center. Tucking your toes under. Hopefully, Tracy, that's okay. Bring yourself up onto your toes. And then I'm just going to move myself mildly away from my own coffee table before I whack it. And then we're going to be head down, bum up, and just stay here for a sec. Enjoy that lovely stretch. Heavy head, heavy arms. Roll it up super slowly. Really slowly. Arms up, deep breath in. And right. Mild, very mild change to our little sweeps. Now instead of, actually I'm going to keep it down here. Instead of coming all the way up like we do, I just want you to try the up on your toes bit, okay? So balancing, close your eyes if you want to. We're just going to lift up and down. And again, all the way up. Lift and down. Up and down. Wonderful. Shake your legs out. Fantastic. Excellent stuff, everyone. Very, very good. And I'm hoping that, Zoe, you had enough space. Let me just unmute everyone. Thank you so much, as always. I'll just stop the recording.